far a nigga came. Look how 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 far a nigga came. Was a boy and I'm a man. Nigga, I ain't go insane. I had to elevate my brain. Yeah, I lost a couple friends, but I gained a couple bands. Now I'm riding in the Benz. I can see clear with these lenses.
And this shit never gon' end. Can't fuck with her, I gotta turn her to a friend. We don't for 3 and 4s, we only fuck with 10s. I told you.
Hey man, 10-mile run done in the morning now. Ow! Nigga, I got a mean ass, bro. My legs are done, bro. But we finna go record a podcast, bro. Stay tuned for the episode, bro. Y'all gonna like the episode, man. Wow, bro. I'm cramping so bad.
When that nigga, he was robbed, and now you're not.
Whether you express yourself and be seen one way, or whether you deal with it yourself and be seen no way.
And my grandma used to say, pressure busts pipes, but as I became older, I realized that pressure creates diamonds as well. So
many philosophers talk about this. Many people are starting to talk about this more, which I really love. Lust. People don't really give a fuck about you. They give a fuck about you in relation to them. I go to somebody and I say, hey, this is going on. I don't know what to do. What the fuck is really gonna happen? Hey man, shout out to the men, bro. First of all, first and foremost, shout out to the men because
it's
this episode really for y'all, man. And it's some tough stuff going on. Yeah. But through all the thick of it, you got a group of people that, you know, go through stuff too. So we gonna talk about that.
Yes, sir.
But what's going on, beautiful people? Welcome back to the Pure Intentions Podcast, the best platform for conversations about Gen Z and how to live a more intentional life. I am one of your hosts, David.
I'm Justin.
And y'all just heard it, man. Y'all see what we getting into today. But I hope y'all did like the part before this with us running.
Yeah.
So we're gonna start putting those at the beginning of pretty much everyone, honestly, because it's I like to show us practicing what we're preaching, and then, you know what I'm saying, they get into it and then they be like, okay, I can listen a bit more. So but today, yeah, bro, we're talking about, but first of all, this episode 40, bro.
Oh shit.
40.
God.
Hey man. Dang. Hey man, shout out to y'all for sticking through and helping us grow, and this has been amazing, honestly, bro. 40 episodes.
That's a lot.
I don't think I really thought about that too much.
I didn't even know this was episode 40.
Yeah, it's episode 40, man. Go check out episode number 39. Probably both of our favorite episodes that we've ever created, talking about anxiety. And I think that information is great for everyone. But today we're going to get a little bit deeper into, you know, just men, but daily battles that men face.
Yeah.
You know?
Hey.
It's unfortunate, but I think that the great thing about battles is that the victor isn't decided yet. You know what I'm saying? So you really do get to decide whether you're the victor of these battles, if you would like to call them battles. If I'm going to be honest, bro, and I'm going to, you know, preface it with this, bro. If you look at them as battles, they'll be battles. I promise you. But if you look at them as nothing, they are nothing. Yeah. And that's something that I've experienced in my life with the things that at one point I thought were battles, which we're gonna get into those, and shifting my mindset towards them, and now I don't even fucking think about them. So let's get into it, bro. How what do we want the people to leave with after this episode?
I want the people, for the men, I want the men to know that, you know, you're not alone. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all in this shit together. We all go through this together. And for the women who may be watching, just awareness, gain awareness and some insight on men's life, because, you know, we don't really speak about shit too much, and that's what we're gonna get into.
Bro, I have a real problem with that, bro. Like, not expressing. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure a lot of men have that. And I'm gonna throw that out as the first battle. Whether you express yourself and be seen one way, or whether you deal with it yourself and be seen no way.
Yeah.
And I would say that that's a scenario where, you know, let's say in your life, a lot of people are asking a lot of things of you, and you're just like, man, I don't want to do it this time, you know, but you don't say that. And so you just follow through with what they want you to do. And so you're not looking out for yourself. And that's just one of the battles. So
Yeah. Same here, bro. Like, and that's really the reason I wanted to like create this episode, was because I would say during the last 2 weeks, I've been like struggling with how much do I keep to myself and how much do I express to other people, basically. You know what I'm saying? Because as a man, bro, you don't want to feel like a burden to anybody, you know, and especially like hearing another man complain, like,
man, that shit's disgusting.
That's what I'm saying.
If I'm being honest.
So it's like,
hearing myself do the same shit is like worse.
Yeah. So it's like you gotta like, it's hard to find that. I don't even know if it is a balance. You know, we had an episode, couple episodes back, about balance is impossible, some shit like that. But it's hard to find that balance, bro, because it's like you don't want to, at least for myself, because like, and this is something else I'm pretty sure a lot of other men face, is just like, you know, maybe feeling weak if you express how you feel for real. So you keep it to yourself, because it's not so much of you don't want other people to think that you're weak. You don't want yourself to think that you're weak.
Exactly.
So you keep it in, you keep it to yourself, bro. So,
and honestly, like, dudes are pretty good at, you know, handling shit on their own. Okay. I mean, I might not say that in the majority sense, but a lot of guys are pretty good at handling things on their own. But sometimes it might be that one situation that just like is a little bit too much for them. You know what I'm saying? And I think that that's a very interesting point, that you don't want to be seen to weak to yourself, because it's like you kind of build yourself up and you create this vision of yourself, and you want to uphold that vision and maintain that vision and grow that vision. And so when something is done that is, you know, a digression of that vision, you feel like you're not the same. And I think, honestly, we're just gonna have to accept that, like, people are vulnerable, bro. Like, I be watching these people on these speakers, and they tell their story. They're vulnerable. You know what I'm saying? And I don't, where do you think that comes from? Like, the inability to
open up as a man.
Yeah.
I think it comes from early childhood, bro. Like, just the way we're conditioned and the way that we're programmed. So I always use this example. So you, like, let's say a little boy, at least majority of the families, I would say, a little boy fall, scrape his knee. They gonna be like, man, get up, you know, like, walk that shit off, you know. But if a girl fall down, scrape her knee, and she's getting all catered to, and, you know, so I think it starts with things like that. So like, as you become older, as that little boy turns into a teenager and a young man and then a fully mature man, is like those habits kind of like.
What's the alternative though? Him. Because shouldn't it be like that?
Yes, I think it should and it shouldn't. Like, or okay, or we could use an example like, well, I'm gonna use me for example, cause like, you know, like, or even like as a boy, you know, a little boy, and you may like cry because some shit, you know what I'm saying? I understand like you shouldn't cry all the fucking time, but like you will cry and then somebody may be like, man up, you know what I'm saying? So then like that man up kind of turns into like some shit in your mind as you just become older. It's like every time a situation happens, you like man up, man up, man up.
Yeah.
And it becomes hard for you to, you know, like even deal with your emotions for real because you have that program of man up in your mind.
Yeah. So basically, it goes from someone external telling you to now this is embedded into your subconscious and you're telling yourself internally.
Yeah.
And that, I don't think people understand how much of a strong hold that is.
Yeah.
Like, bro, it really, like in this society today, I think that people would be okay if men opened up. If I'm in this society today, but because of the nature of, you know, this society, I think that people would be more accepting of it. But going back to my last question, like, shouldn't this be what it is? Like, I think that men should have the absolute hardest lives that they can, because if you have the toughest pressure, you might be the shiniest diamond. You know what I'm saying? If you go through the hardest trials and tribulations and you're able to come out on top without any extra help, that's kind of like a prideful thing. And that's something that men need to be able to function in their respective roles. They have to have an ego of some kind. They have to have pride of some kind. It doesn't have to be destructive, but that has to be built up for men. And like, if this world went to where kids or male kids were coddled just like female kids, the world would not be in a better place.
Yeah, no.
So what do we do with this? Because what we call it is complaining, because it's not something that we do. We don't necessarily tell everybody every single situation that goes on. We handle it. So then what do we do? Like,
I think it's journal. Like I don't think anybody, because I agree with you, bro. I don't think men need to you know, be all coddled and stuff. But at the same time, I do believe men don't need to suppress everything. I feel like maybe the balance doesn't need to be 50-50 between keeping shit in and opening up. Maybe it could be like a 70-30 or some shit. But I do believe like the percentage for like opening up for men does need to increase as an overall. But I think it needs to be some type of positive outlet for men to do, because a lot of times, you know, we just keep shit in until, like you said, until that breaking point hits. Some shit happens in our life, some experience happens, and now you lose control of yourself because you had decades of stored up emotions inside of you, and then once that experience hits, it's boom, and you explode or some shit. Now you may be dead, in jail, divorced, etc. You know.
what if it's not stored up emotions? What if it's just that this is a situation this specific man has never encountered, and it's just a little bit more intense than he's used to? He's handled every situation in the past relatively well, but just that one that, like, there's an emphasis on, I really feel like there's an emphasis on perfection a little bit. Whenever, like, a dude making a mistake is much more grave than a man, not a boy or a child. it's much more grave. It's held as more of a stain on that person. And it makes us continue operating in that way of trying to be 100% okay. And I think that men, honestly, opening up more, bro, I think these niggas done opened up a lot. You know what I'm saying?
Pause.
Wait, okay, pause. But like,
I know what you're
I
saying,
think with the people that care about us, we should more,
yeah.
but not to the public.
Yeah. That's why I said like positive outlets. So for one, journaling, that's some shit that helps me because like, for example, I journal every Sunday, bro, and I was journaling because it was just a Sunday. And next thing I know, I'm 3 pages in. I didn't realize how much was on my mind. You know what I'm saying? Because like that shit was really just like stored in thoughts and emotions that was just going on. So I got that shit out with a journal. So I feel like every man needs some type of outlet, positive outlet that they can let their thoughts out, let their emotions out, instead of always just, talking to somebody or something like that. I mean, you should talk to somebody, but not like you shouldn't always come to somebody about your fucking problems, basically. So, and we all have problems, so just write that shit down in the fucking journal and keep journaling. And you gonna feel better, bro.
Nigga said keep journaling.
Oh God.
Nigga said fuck out that other shit. Keep journaling.
Literally though, bro.
Yeah. I definitely agree with that. It's definitely a great outlet. One thing that I speak about that helps me is taking walks in the park. That's just how I process stuff, honestly. Like I get to, I don't know, have a space of just me walking alone and shit's just floating, and I get to pick which one I want to focus on and then work through it. And that has been a really good one for me that I think a lot of men should probably try out if you haven't. But having an outlet is definitely, it allows those emotions to flow.
Yeah.
And I think that, like I said before, with the people that are close to us, we should be better at opening up or being transparent.
But okay, that can lead us into another daily battle. I feel like a lot of men feel like they don't have nobody that's really close to them. You know what I'm saying? So that they can't even open up to them because they feel like, they may judge them. I mean, like, yeah, kind of going back to the first point, but like they may feel like they really don't have nobody in this world. I know this is something I struggle with a lot, especially when I was in college. Being away, I felt like alone, basically, but not alone in the sense of like depressed. I just felt like alone at like I'm embarking on this journey by myself. So I gotta take all this shit in by myself. Even though I really do, and I did have people in my circle I could have talked to, but I just decided.
So then why do we feel like that? Like what causes us to feel like that?
I don't know. My sister and my mom always ask me that, and honestly, I never.
Like what creates that disconnect?
I feel like it could, for me, I feel like it could be a mixture of things. For one, I feel like it can be creating like a chip on your shoulder so it can go even harder. Like an imaginary chip on your shoulder.
Yeah.
I feel like that's something I may have did while
For sure.
I was doing it. I'm like, ain't nobody got me. I'm the only person got me. I gotta keep going. Yeah. Even though that shit was false. Like Odelia used to call me out on that shit too. So yeah, I feel like a lot of men struggle with just like really knowing who's really in their circle, bro. Even though they may actually have genuine people in their circle.
I'll be honest, bro. One of the things that I've noticed about the friendships or relationships I've decided to embark on throughout my life, there hasn't really been evidence of a, I mean, of course there's been, but it's not like you know, so prevalent of people that are bent on understanding you and looking at you from a separate person point of view and saying, you know, this person has a whole entire fucking life I have no clue about. So who am I to judge them for anything? Maybe they're with me 10 minutes out of the how many minutes there other places, you get what I'm saying? And a lot of people are just very which I don't blame them, you're a fucking human. Very self-focused, and you can see that in conversations like that. And honestly, that has caused me to not really, bro, I used to want somebody to give a fuck, bro. That was one of the biggest things that I wanted. I wanted somebody to give a fuck. But then I thought about it. Damn, you don't even give a fuck. So get what? I started giving a fuck. Do I think about other people giving a fuck at this point? No, I don't. But when it comes to other people, I just realized some realities that, like, bro, even if the worst shit in my life was going on, bro, and I go to somebody and I say, hey, this is going on. I don't know what to do. What the fuck is really gonna happen? Like, what solutions come from that?
Nothing really.
Then what the fuck am I doing it for? Like, what's the point?
I guess it may be human nature to want to feel like connected with somebody else, or, you know, just not necessarily understood. I guess understood. I guess, you know, I maybe just be human nature.
But it's like a dead mission with 99% of the world.
Yeah.
Like, I've really, people don't really give a fuck about you. They give a fuck about you in relation to them. So if it's like some shit that's just you or going on with you or happening to or for you, that level of feeling isn't going to be the same. And that's why you cherish genuine friends a lot more, because you see it in their face or see it in their actions. When you get an accomplishment, they're more excited than your ass. When something goes wrong, they're more mad than your ass. You cherish those a lot more, but those are so hard to come across and especially rely on to keep your transparency safe. I've never even thought about that. Keeping your transparency safe. Another battle is, of course, I would say one of the biggest ones, if not the biggest one. Many philosophers talk about this. Many people are starting to talk about this more, which I really love. Lust. The urge to have, or the sexual desire that a man feels internally that causes him to want to do action. Now, I said causes him to want to do action. Not saying that he has made action, but he just simply wants to. It's an urge. And is this a daily battle? I think for a lot of people, it's been a daily battle. For me at one point. For a lot of people, it is still a daily battle. It's actually huge. This is a huge problem.
Yeah.
And the world is helping perpetuate it, like, greatly. And it's harder than ever to step outside of that. So, lust. If you're a dude that all you think about is the next girl you're about to sleep with, you might as well be scrolling on TikTok every day because you're brain dead.
They probably are.
No, dead eyes, bro. Looking at bitches on TikTok.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
But it may be part of a person's routine to do that, I guess. And really this has affected men very greatly by distracting them, by draining them, by delaying their lives and success. And of course, you know, we've been in college. In college, the environment is, you know, one night stands. That's really the environment for real. I ain't gonna lie. And as a dude, you just feel like, you know, it's my job to carry on the tradition.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like, no, dead ass. This is a real dynamic inside of men's mind. And so what I think is that once men realize what it actually is, because that's when things really changed for me. Once I realized what sexual urge actually is, or rather, what consequences come from that, you kind of get scared a little bit and you start moving differently. You start thinking about it differently. And it goes from a daily battle, from a daily battle to maybe you never think about it, or maybe you only think about it every so often and it doesn't affect you and you can control that. The power that you gain in knowing that you can control one of the greatest urges that you can have, in addition to the actual tangible physical benefit of not allowing that urge to control you, it seems to supercharge men.
Yeah, that's your superpower. That's your life force that you have within you.
Yeah. One thing that I saw was that this guy said what distinguishes men from females is their semen, is the fact that we have semen present in our bodies. But the thing that distinguishes a weak man from a strong man is how much. How much. And what term he used was reserves. I think the best way for me to put this in an example, I know I'm drawing along, but imagine you have just a cup that is split into 4 sections. So every time you pour out that cup, only one section is getting poured out. And so let's say you pour out one of those sections. You have 75% of the liquid in there now. If you do not give that time to get back to 100%, you will not feel the benefits of that 100%. You will only feel the benefits of that 75%. And the thing that's been happening with stronger and stronger scientifically backed experiments on these men is that they pour out the whole cup continuously. So fuck that. It's fucking empty. Let me get a little drop in there so I can pour some more. Meaning the reserves are completely gone. And so you have feminine men. You have men that are very emotional, that are sad all the time, that can't pick themselves back up. And it's very unfortunate.
Yeah. I ain't gonna lie, that shit just had me just thinking about like when I was going through a little depression phase years ago, just like how I was constantly releasing, you know what I'm saying? And it literally goes hand in hand with like your mind state, your emotional state, and like what you holding in and what you releasing. It goes hand in hand, literally. But yeah, bro, that's literally your life force. So I don't think people really understand that. But you know, in middle school and shit, we go to sex ed classes or whatnot, but they not teaching this shit. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Majority of the times, at least for me. But majority of the times, bro.
I mean, they had a little textbook with some images.
But they not telling you like exactly how powerful your life force is.
Oh, of course not.
And the power of keeping it in. So it's like you don't really know that shit. And a lot of times, like what we said with like the first thing, we get taught a lot of shit from external forces, from our environment. So our environment is mostly always like, man, fuck as many women as you can while you young. You in college, have sex with all these women.
But it's like, why?
Because that's cool.
What benefit is that going to bring to me as a man? What benefit is it going to bring to me to sleep with as many women as I can?
I just think it's just like just a societal thing to like badge of honor, basically. Some dumb shit that we created probably thousands or hundreds of years ago, like some type of fake ass badge of honor. But that really doesn't really do anything for you, for real. Shit, your chances of getting somebody pregnant is going to increase. Yeah, chances of getting a disease is going to increase.
Bro, like I'm telling y'all, bro. A lot of men talk about the fact that even in their latter years, if they took care of themselves, they were able to perform the same in that regard. So why are we rushing now?
Yeah.
Like, I get it. Society wants you to do it. Perfect. Okay, go do it. Follow society. By fucking all means, bro. Follow the people that you're around that are saying, bro, check out that bad bitch that I just, man, I'm gonna try to hit tomorrow, bro. What? The amount of idle bullshit conversations that I've heard passing through on the college campus is actually insane. Probably every single one.
No, literally.
Never heard a motherfucker talking about shit. I'm trying to go get some money today. But that's just what they focused on in college. But outside of that, bro, you know, a dude can get his own place and he's like, fuck it, I gotta bring everybody in this bitch.
I ain't gonna lie. You know, I ain't even gonna say that.
Oh shit.
I ain't gonna say that I don't care.
Stop it. Hey, I'm just saying, bro. This is stuff that we go through though. Like you get your spot. You not in your parents' spot no more. Nah, you like, fuck it. Yeah. I'm finna, nigga, hit her up, and her, nigga. May the best one win. Or shit, all four can. Fuck you mean? Yeah. Yeah.
I was about to say, it really feels like it's a necessity. Like once you get your own place, like just like how you need your water running, you know, shit. As soon as you get that bitch, you feel me? But like you said, like why the fuck is it even like that? To be honest,
it's just it goes back to the notion that the 99% and the 1% exist. Why does the 1% exist, and why is the 99 the bigger portion? The 99 is the majority. That is what everyone will most likely follow. And that 1%, they chose to go a different way. Yeah. Cool, society's telling me to go do this, but guess what? I'm going to go this other way because I realize the benefits of it. And that puts you in a 1%. Here's the thing that people don't know. It's so fucking easy to get into that zone with sexual urges. Stop doing it for 30 days and you're better than most 99%. Bro,
no, literally though.
Literally the larger half of men that go through it. Yeah. Just 30 days, a month? You mean to tell me I have to go without this for a month and I'm good? I thought it would take 2 years, a year, 6 months. No. I don't think you should, listen, I don't think you should be worrying about the time, but I'm trying to take down your expectations. You think, I'll never be free from this thing. Yeah. All you have to do is try your hardest for 30 days and you'll be, you know how you got a pace chart for marathons? and it says greater than 95% or greater than 80% to see which category you in, like what percentage of other runners you're better than or whatever, or faster than. You can get in that zone very, very quickly.
Oh yeah.
And it just takes, what does it take?
Discipline. It takes discipline, and you really gotta dig deep and really just want that shit for real. It's shit. I can't think of the word, but you gotta really more than want that shit, you know, to like get better or to overcome this urge or this thing. Because I ain't gonna lie, bro, that was one of the hardest shits I did in my life, was overcoming lust. 100%. You know what I'm saying? And shit took a little minute, to be honest. Like, I would say, but and this is a thing too, like with my own journey, it was like you got to look at failure as progress. So it was like, okay, so I started off, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go 10 days. You know what I'm saying? That was like my original thing. So sometimes I would go 10 days, sometimes I would relapse. But like every time I relapse, I didn't just quit. I just started the process over again. Or I started from there. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, okay, I went fucking 7 days this time. Let me try to go 8 days. You know, so I was hard on myself, but I wasn't beating myself up, and I didn't let myself stay at ground zero. And then eventually them 10 days went to 30 days, and them 30 days, shit just didn't even do it no more after that.
You see what I'm saying?
But like, you got to look at failure as progress. Like, it's a stepping stone. Like, this is probably something you've been doing for years, so this is deeply programmed in your mind as like a unconscious habit, you know. So
you got to give yourself grace.
Exactly. But
Like,
you can't give yourself too much grace.
Yeah, not too much. Yeah, I ain't
But
saying that.
You
but
do have to give yourself grace. So
realize the progress, because that's very, very powerful.
yeah,
Going from a smaller amount of time to a larger amount of time, and just taking stepping stones like that, I would say that definitely helped me as well.
yeah,
Because it takes your mind off of failure, as in failure is what is going to put me back in the place that I'm walking away from, and putting it in a perspective of, okay, I did a little bit better. As long as I'm doing better, I'm doing okay. And if you continue on that road, bro, you'll see things, you'll go longer. Bro,
yeah.
there was a period where I genuinely did not think about sex, or like it just was not on my mind. I knew that I wasn't going to have sex with anyone. So I just didn't, after a while, it just dissipated a little bit.
Yeah.
And that was probably right after I left school, maybe. Right after I left school. And I was just working all the time. You occupy your time. That's another one. And I don't want to stay on this daily battle, because there's more daily battles.
Yeah.
But that is one that a lot of people you definitely have the power to get over it. Trust me. It's not a super powerful top main level boss. I'm gonna be honest. It's not sexual desire. It's definitely probably level 99, but it's not impossible, is what I'm trying to say.
Yeah, it's not impossible.
And don't think it's impossible. But I mean, did you have another daily battle, or?
I was just gonna say, I wouldn't even say a battle for real, but I would say putting pressure on yourself. Like, you know, at least for me and for the ambitious men out there, I'm pretty sure on a daily basis, you are literally the one that's putting pressure on yourself. It's like the world not even putting pressure on you, but you putting this pressure on yourself. But I heard somebody say, some great, he was like, pressure is a privilege. And my grandma used to say, pressure busts pipes. But as I became older, I realized that pressure creates diamonds as well. So just putting like pressure on yourself, because like it's so easy And this message is literally specifically for ambitious men, but it's so easily to just slip off and just go with the flow. But when you put that pressure on yourself, that's when you're like, okay, I said I was gonna do this today, so I gotta do all this shit today. And that's kind of like a little bit of pressure because you have to figure out your time gaps, when you gonna do this, when you don't do that. But like ain't nobody putting no gun to your head and like, nigga, do this shit or you gonna die. You know what I'm saying? So I would say just like creating that pressure on yourself is for sure one. But pressure is a privilege.
Yeah, pressure is a privilege. One thing I like to say during the runs, before the runs, is it's a pleasure to put in this work.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? To be able to build myself up and hone my abilities and challenge myself. Like, ain't nobody tell me to challenge myself.
That's what I'm saying.
I challenge myself. and that goalpost rises. I think the great thing about running is that you can easily see progress, because one day you can go 2 miles and then the next you go 3. You're like, okay, I did a mile more. And that is a very clear indication of progress, I would say. And it's fun to see, I guess. When you're working out, it's more delayed and things like that. So definitely putting pressure on yourself is a big one that men go through. Is there a situation where, we shouldn't put pressure on ourselves? Or like
probably so. But it's like pressure kind of, it allows you to be great. You know what I mean? So like, let's say let's say a man has kids and the pressure that he's putting on himself is to be a great father. Yeah. But maybe that pressure can cause him to be too strict on his kids or some shit. Now his kids may resent him for the rest of their lives, and they may not have a great relationship. So, but at the same time, it could turn out to be like that pressure could actually allow him to be a great father in general. So
basically, just like know.
Yeah, it's a catch-22.
Yeah,
for sure.
Just like know what you're doing.
Yeah.
Another daily battle is giving up. Checking out of life, bro. Just being like, fuck all this shit.
Yeah.
I've definitely been feeling that a lot. Just fuck all this shit. But you cannot allow yourself to succumb to thoughts that aren't yours. Those thoughts aren't mine.
Yeah.
I've been told myself who I am, where I'm going, what's going to happen. Those thoughts are coming in from maybe external stimuli that may be in my viewport temporarily. And so it's up to me to be able to maintain and weather that storm.
Yeah. I'm very happy you said that, bro, because I actually, I guess this is me opening up right now, but probably for the last 2 but like for the last 2 days, bro, I actually feel like I've been a little bit confused lately, like with my life and my path. And I wouldn't say giving up has crossed my mind, but I could see how that confusion can cause somebody to give up, and be like, man, like you said, fuck that shit, bro.
Yeah.
But it's like you just gotta have faith, bro, and that faith has to be tied to a higher purpose, bro. And that's really what it comes down to, is for one, your purpose. Like, you gotta really understand, like, what is your purpose on this planet, on this earth, while you here for this limited amount of time. So it's like, no matter kind of, if you feel like giving up, you're like, well, this is my purpose. Like, if I give up my purpose, like for me, for example, bro, I'm use myself for example. I feel like me doing this podcast and the stuff I'm gonna continue to do, like, this is part of my purpose to help people. You know what I'm saying? So if I give up on this podcast, bro, I look at it like I'm giving up on these people that I could have helped, that I don't even know, but if I would have kept going, I could have helped, who knows, hundreds, thousands, millions of people, maybe billions of people. But if I gave up, I would have never been able to help these people. So, but like I said, but that's tied to like my purpose. So you got to really just know what your purpose is, and you have to keep faith, man. It's very cliche, but your faith has to be tied to something that's unbreakable, man.
Yeah, no cap. One of the first posts on my Instagram is literally talking about this, and I have Opal, so I have to pause this shit to get on my Instagram. We talked about that in one of the videos talking about social media, how to get off social media.
Yeah.
Opal sponsor us. But I have that there because it, you know, sometimes when I get in that mode where I'm just like, okay, really like fuck all this shit for real, I just go back to the first post on my fucking Instagram and I'm trying to read it, bro. Hold on. All right. We here. It says this was in 2019, August 23rd, 2019, a day before my dad's birthday. It says, the second you stop is the second you lose. Keep going. And now that seems very elementary, but for me, bro, I only look at if you quit as losing. And have I lost? Yes. There are things that I have quit. There are things that I have given up on. But once my life came to this point where I am making commitments to myself and to the higher intelligence and all things like that and other people, I cannot allow myself to completely stop. I may come to a little stutter step. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You probably wouldn't notice. But I will not stop. And that's one of the things that I'm really, even no matter how hard this shit gets, bro, I really have been able to keep going and maintain my vision, maintain seeing what I see for myself, and knowing that this present moment right now will not always be my reality.
Yeah.
All it is a time game and a mind game. A time and mind game. You literally have to just let it pass, because there were times where I felt terrible, and then 2 weeks later I was like, I can't believe I was feeling like that. And it was like, we should never felt like that in the first place. Understand what the situation is. Nothing is really gonna break you for real. Humans are more capable than you probably, you'll surprise yourself if you test how capable you are. Let's just say that.
Mike Tyson got a quote. I was about to print this off on my vision board. He said, if you can persevere and endure, you can like get anything you want out of life. And that's a fact, bro. And it's that endurance, bro, being able to endure shit. And, being a man, bro, like, shit, you the head, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
life gonna come at you, but you gotta take that shit to the chin and keep moving forward. But even when you take that shit to the chin, like, it's just like getting a cut. Sometimes you gotta check on your cut, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. So that cut could be some trauma that came from that experience. So check on that trauma, heal from that trauma, keep moving forward, you know what I'm saying? Just don't take shit to the chin and keep moving forward, because eventually your ass gonna fall down and collapse.
Yeah, no cap. That is a misconception that a lot of men don't know. Yeah. Is that is an inevitable outcome if you go that route.
Literally.
But I got a tattoo that says, everyday hard work, much effort, much growth, success. The last thing on there was success. Everything before that is a prerequisite to attain that success. So if I put in a lot of effort, if I work hard every day, if I achieve much growth every day, then I will be successful in my eyes. Mm-hmm. Success is the realization of a worthy ideal. So this is what makes me feel successful and capable as a man when I put forth effort and I achieve growth and I feel like I'm working hard. Sometimes you're not working hard. Sometimes you're just doing busy work. But that's one of the things that has helped me as well is, putting little messages on my body or whatever.
Yeah.
To remind me to keep going and what this shit really is, what I signed up for, what I decided. And men, love yourself. Make sure that honestly, a lot of people may not like me saying this, but you truly are the only person that has 100% of yourself. Meaning every minute that you're alive, you are going to spend with yourself, and all of those thoughts that you're having, you're going to have with yourself. So do your best with it. You will not always be perfect. Shit will hit the fucking wall and you will have to continue. And I think that was last month men's mental health month? Mental health awareness month?
They put it the same month as Pride Month.
I don't fucking know. But take care of your mental health.
Not facts though.
Decompress. Make sure that, if you, and that's a very interesting thing that we talked about, that we know we're going through the same thing, but we feel like we're the only one. That's a very interesting dynamic. And I want other people to pay attention to that as you walk around life. What is creating that disconnect if you feel that? What is creating the disconnect that makes you feel alone, even though you know for a fact someone else may be going through the exact same thing, or someone that has went through it? And figure that out, because we really didn't answer it here, because we really go through it still. So, yeah.
Yeah, the main thing is to just like keep going, never give up. Like that's literally the main thing. Like a life is going life, man. And I feel like the more life you experience, the higher the probability of you getting traumatized more and more the longer you live. So you gotta just like let that trauma fuel you, but don't break you. Let that trauma allow you to grow and don't break you, basically.
Yeah.
Yeah, man, because shit gonna continue to get harder, and that's just the harsh truth of it.
Bro, nobody likes to hear that, bro. Like, that's something that I really accepted when I was first looking into personal development stuff, was that I saw where my life was and I saw the people I was looking at, and I'm like, I'm kind of looking at their schedule. I'm like, that's a pretty tough schedule,
Yeah.
And that brought me on that mental thinking path of saying, hey, this shit is not going to get easier. I don't know who the fuck told you that.
Yeah.
This shit will only get harder because more things will be added to it. But the thing is, bro, you don't gotta have a hard life. I'm gonna be honest, bro. If you go off grid, hit a little island, I ain't gonna lie, bro. Self-sustainable, but you don't gotta worry about nothing.
Yeah.
You don't gotta worry about nothing. So, just don't be a bitch either. Don't be a bitch. Understand when you being a bitch.
Yeah.
And sometimes I'm gonna be honest, bro. Sometimes it take you being a bitch to know that you being a bitch, so you stop being a bitch.
Yeah, that's a fact.
I apologize for using the B word, but
I ain't gonna lie, bro. Sometimes like I be telling myself that I be like, man, you acting like a bitch right now. You know what I'm saying? And I be
For
like,
sure.
And that shit like check me up. That shit get me straight. You know what I'm saying? And that's something too you got to develop as a man, is to just develop that positive self talk within your own mind. Like you said, you with yourself for every single millisecond of your whole life. So you might as well be your biggest critic and your biggest supporter
Okay.
at the same time. So
That is.
and being able to check yourself and yeah, that's a key thing too.
Yeah. And a part of that is being real with yourself. You can't check yourself if you're not real.
Exactly. And especially if you have like yes men around you and shit like that.
There's no reason to lie to yourself. You know you. There's no reason to lie to yourself.
It's damn near impossible.
It's actually impossible, but you'd be very interested the delusions that people are present in within their lives. So yeah, man. Any last words for the people?
Shit, join the Pure Intentions community. Link in the description, man. We got daily motivation, fitness. So like, even if you are a man, like what we just talked to, man, y'all can join the community. We all come together, have great conversations, and just grow as a community. Yeah, and for the women as well.
Yeah, and we just had an event. Yeah, we just had a 5 a.m. mountain walk, and that was phenomenal. Honestly, bro. We got to see that beautiful sunset at the top.
Sunrise.
Yeah, sunrise. And put some work in very early in your day. So definitely follow the Instagram to stay tuned for those announcements, but also join the community. And this has been the Pure Intentions podcast, and we out.